Today we start with the new chapter in biology, that is pollution. That is as per the syllabus, the last chapter of the syllabus of biology. That is pollution, a rising environmental problem, that is of ICSE 10 standard. Uh, we know very well pollution is of different kinds, or when we talk about pollution we know basically what we are trying to say is we are somehow contaminating the natural resources of the environment. So whenever you are disturbing the natural constituents of the nature, that may be of water or air or just generally the complete environment, we are doing nothing but pollution. And that particular ingredients which are getting added to the, or the impurities which are getting added to this particular environment is called as pollutants. So the cause of the pollution are the pollutants. So we see about so first thing is, what is waste? Waste is an unwanted or undesirable material or substance resulting from industries, commercial mining, agricultural operations, and from community activities. So first of all, we are talking about waste. Why waste? Because this waste is the one which is going to be a cause of the pollution over here. So that's why we first understand what is the waste. So the waste is basically that undesirable or not required substance, okay, the one which is not going to be required later on, and this are caused or formed due to the industrial activities of maybe the commercial mining or agricultural operations, or even the community activities like our normal kitchen and everything. So that also adds up to the our bathing, our preparing of the food material. Everything it comes under the waste part, which is going to be unused or unrequired, or we can say as undesired material. With the increasing population size, waste generated is becoming unmanageable. We very well know that the pollution is also due to the population. The population of our country is so huge that even a small bit of the waste generated by one small person will automatically, cumulatively, of the 130 crores become a huge chunk. So that's why it is very important to understand the waste and hence understand the pollution created by the waste. Open dumps and heaps of garbage is a common sight. This unhygienic atmosphere leads to problems related to human health and environment, because untreated waste is a breeding ground for flies, rats, and other insects which spread various diseases. So we very well know, whenever we go somewhere, many times we see heaps and heaps of the material lying over there, the waste material lying over there. So all those areas which are the areas where the heaps of waste material is dumped over there is a very most significant place where the infections can take place, because there are huge amount of breeding places for the flies, the mosquitoes, the rats, and any infection. So that's why the bacteria is everything. So that is where the growth of those diseases is going to take place. The rainwater run off from such sites contaminate our environment. So yes, of course. So what is going to happen? It is in a heap. Rainfall takes place. What happens to the rainfall? Is it absorbed over there? No, it is not absorbed. It is going to flow down. It may flow down and enter into some other water body also. So you will find that what is happening, the contaminated area, the contaminated infectious kind of a water, which is the rainwater is getting drained into the water body, thus causing the damage to the environment. The waste generated from various sources can be classified into two categories: biodegradable waste and non-biodegradable waste. Of course, we can know that the waste is going to be of two kinds: degradable and non-degradable. Biodegradable, that is the one which can be degraded and form into soil easily, that is biodegradable. Non-biodegradable means one which does not get decomposed in the soil is the one which is non-biodegradable. So biodegradable waste are those substances which can be broken down by microorganisms into harmless and non-toxic substances. These include animal and agricultural waste, like for example dung, that is cow dung and all the alternative animal dung, hicks, leaves, lay, then kitchen leftovers, styrofoam, etc. So these are the ones which are biodegradable, means they are getting converted into, decomposed into soil in a very easier manner, and that's why they are called as biodegradable waste. And the non-biodegradable waste are those substances that cannot be broken down by microorganisms. These include plastic, metallic cans, glass, electronic waste, e-waste, etc. Accumulation of a large amount of these waste results in pollution. So normally the most of the pollution is going to be created much more by the non-biodegradable waste rather than the biodegradable waste, because biodegradable somehow is going to get degraded and get converted into soil and make the soil fertile in fact, whereas the non-biodegradable one is going to retain over there and cause later on a harm to the environment. Now let's study about pollution. So we start with pollution. Pollution is the addition of any such constituent to air, water or land which deteriorates the natural quality of the environment. So whenever any kind of addition is there to the naturally occurring place like air, water, land, and going to deteriorate the quality of that particular natural ingredient, then it is called as a pollution. So pollution is the addition of such constituent to air, water and land which deteriorates the natural quality of the environment, and the pollutant is such constituent which causes pollution. So there are types of pollution over here. The first one is air pollution. So the first kind of the one is air pollution. Air pollution means degradation of the air quality, harmfully affecting the living organism as well as certain objects. So when the air quality is going to be degraded, okay, any particular kind of a constituent which is going to degrade the quality of the air is called as the air pollutant, which is going, of course, that is the one which is going to affect the living organism as well as certain objects. So types of air pollution. The air pollution is basically of two types: gaseous pollution, harmful gases given out from a variety of sources, and particulate pollution, particles such as those of dust, smoke, mines, stone drillings, wearing of rubber tires of motor vehicles. So all these are particulate pollution. So the air can be contaminated by two kinds of pollutants. One is smoke pollution, that is the gaseous one. So the one which is caused by the smoke, or the one which is only by the other gases getting combined to the air, so increasing the constituent of the air by some SO2 and some nitrates and or the not nitrates but carbon dioxide, more amount of carbon dioxide than what is there in the air. So all these are gaseous pollutants. Whereas apart from that, there are also some pollutants which are in forms of particles. These particles are going to be there, which are normally from the dust, smoke, then the mining industry, the stone ka drilling वगैरह जब भी करते हैं तो powder जो उड़ता है, so that particles. And also when the vehicles move, the rubber tires are going to be abraded. The abrasion between the rubber tires and the road takes place, and that is why the tire needs to be replaced. Why the tire needs to be replaced? Because उसका rubber पूरा कट जाता. So that particular particles of the rubber which is there in the atmosphere is also called as the particulate pollution. Now sources of air pollution. The air pollution can be of two sources. One is the natural source, another is the man-made source. Natural source में example, ash from burning volcanoes, dust from storms and forest fires. These pollutions are beyond human control and will continue to occur. So yeah, natural sources, it is beyond our control. Forest fires do take place, okay. There will be volcanic eruptions taking place, so that particular volcanic eruptions gives a lot amount of ash and a lot amount of gases. We cannot control that particular part, neither we can control the dust storms. So these are uncontrollable things from our side, but these are also adding to the pollution, and that is called as air pollution through the natural sources. But man-made are much more severe than those. Examples: vehicles. So automobiles, they are going to give a huge amount of pollution. Industries, garbage, brick kilns. These are four major sources which to a great extent are under human control, and the method of controlling them are being developed. So we are trying to develop certain ways by which we can control these four areas which bring out the maximum amount of air pollution. First one is the automobiles, second one is the industries, garbage, and the brick kilns. Now for the vehicles, we already know that pollution under control, you need a particular kind of a pollution under control, the PUC, to be done to your cars so that they are polluting, less polluting. So this way we are trying to control these four things so that the pollution, which is the man-made pollution in the air, is reduced. Now we come to the air pollution due to vehicles. So the vehicular air pollution. There are various kinds of vehicles: the motor cars, trucks, buses, scooters, tractors, motorcycles, railway engines, etc. They are mostly running on petrol or diesel. So we know that all these vehicles which are there, right from the train to the truck or from the aeroplane to a motorcycle, each and every vehicle requires fuel for burning, and the fuel could be petrol, diesel or CNG. So these fuels, whenever they are burned, they give out emission that is nothing but the pollution. So the exhaust given out contains three main gaseous pollutants: carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide, and carbon monoxide. Okay, so CO2, SO2 and CO are the three main gases given out by the burning of the fuel in the vehicles. Simultaneously, there is a wearing of the rubber tires of the vehicle, releasing rubber particles, and furthermore the speeding vehicles also raise the road dust particles in the air. You must have also experienced a lot of dust raised when the road cleaners sweep the road every morning. So every morning when you see the road, dust आया कहाँ से? अगर तुम्हें को लगता है कि रास्ते पे dust है तो आया कहाँ से? There is nothing like a storm taking place, but you can see that continuously there will be a lot of dust. This dust basically come because of the pollution which is given out by the vehicles. So the vehicles give out the rubber pollution as well as the smoke, that is the exhaust which is given out by the vehicles, which is giving the air pollution, that is vehicular air pollution. How to control it? Efficient engines and good quality automobile fuels, lead-free petrol, greater use of compressed natural gas. So first is efficient engines. The engines are made more efficient so that it reduces the amount of petrol or diesel required for its burning for a particular amount of kilometers. Good quality automobile fuel. The automobile fuel which is used, it made a good quality. It will lead free, because lead will be, if lead is being present in that, will produce much more amount of pollution, lead pollution, which is be harmful and which will be poisonous kind. So lead free petrol, and so good quality fuel will be required, and also to minimize the use of petrol and diesel and to increase the use of CNG, that is compressed natural gas, which is much more greener than other fuels. The next air pollution is industrial air pollution. The whole world is undergoing extensive industrial revolution. It ranges from small scale pottery and carpentry weaving unit to huge sugar factories, cloth factories, metal factories, automobile manufacturing units, drug manufacturers, oil refineries, and so on. They give out all kinds of pollutants. So you see that It is not only the small industries or big industry is going to be polluted, it is a complete range of industries, right from the smallest industry which is just a pot maker. The pot maker से लेकर वो जो छोटा सा एक कारपेट वीविंग करने वाला रहेगा वो भी उतना पॉल्यूशन क्रिएट करेगा जितना big industries like metal manufacturing industries or the automobile manufacturing industry or any oil refinery, all these are going to give out some other the kind of the waste, and that is nothing but the air pollution which is going to be generated by these kind of industries. The chief industrial gaseous pollutant again consists of the three things, that is CO2, SO2 and CO. Carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide and sulfur dioxide are the three gases which are given out, and also oxides of nitrogen will be given out in this case. So chief gaseous pollutants are these ones. The smoke released by the factory chimney into the air contains lot of particulate pollution also. So smoke which is given out by the factories, they do not only contain these carbon dioxide, sulfur dioxide and things like that, but it also contain many particulate pollutions also. So that is why it is going to be much more dangerous. Stone drilling and mining, coal, metal, etc. produce fine particles which pose serious health hazard to the laborers involved. And hence what we see that due to the pollution, what you see in the big cities is not a fog but a smog, which is a combination of smoke and fog, which you many times you have ever seen or you must have heard in Delhi that the visibility was so poor that they could not land the aircraft in the winter season. It is not because of the winter fog, but it is the smog, that is the combination of the smoke and the fog which is combined in the form of smog, which gives rise to this kind of a condition wherein the visibility is so poor that the flights could not land. The smoke released from various sources may get mixed with dust particles and small drops of fog are produced, what is called as smog. The smog is harmful to plants and if inhaled may cause asthma or allergies to humans. So that's why the smog is very, very dangerous. It's not only harmful for the plants but also harmful for the human beings because it causes serious respiratory problems like asthma or allergies to the humans. The next one which causes a huge amount of the air pollution is the brick kiln. Brick kiln is the one which is where the bricks which are made up of clay are heated so that they become hard. See, bricks are normally very hard and the hardening of the brick is taking place by heating them in a brick kiln. Brick kiln is a kind of a fort which is made or kind of a wall which is being made by the bricks being kept over there and the heat is being given over there so that it is like an oven. It's an open oven where the bricks are being heated up. The garbage mainly consists of items such as peeling. Brick kilns is the next one. Before that is the burning of garbage. So burning garbage, the garbage mainly consists of items such as peeling of vegetables and fruits, shells taken off from the dry fruits, washing of pulses, rice, etc. and also the leftovers of food dishes. Such waste is neither used in composite, making manure or agriculture use, or burnt in special enclosures. So normally you will find that nowadays they don't burn such kind of the garbage. That garbage burning is reduced a lot. They would better do the composting of it and make it into manure. But yeah, in certain places still they are burning this particular kind of garbage, and that's why it is causing when you burn this garbage, it causes a huge amount of pollution too. So it is seen that on burning the garbage releases carbon dioxide and some harmful gases too. The smoke given out adds to particulate air pollution. So this is how the burning of garbage also causes air pollution. The next thing we see is the brick kiln, as I was talking about, that is ito ki bhatti, that is the oven where the bricks are being heated or being baked. The brick kiln are fire heated enclosures for making construction bricks. Raw moist clay bricks are arranged in heaps with firewood in between and then covered by layers of some special mud mixtures to contain the burning flame inside. So what they do is they are going to make the brick lined up. There will be wood which will be in between, which is be burned, and then on top of it there will be some amount of a different kind of a soil being put, so that the fire is maintained inside and not going outside, and the fire remaining inside will heat up the moist clay and convert the brick into hard rock kind of a material. So this setup is left for a few days. The smoke collecting inside is released through a hole. On opening, the original mud colored brick are found to be red. So the mud colored brick, after opening this thing, when they are heated up, they become red. So red color ka the brick jo hai, it is not the color on that, it is not painted. It is basically the color of the mud when it is heated to that temperature. There is a huge quantity of ash also generated at the same time. The waste produced are large quantities of ash and broken brick bits. These are all pollutants which are either somehow reused or just dumped. Lot of smoke and heat given out are the pollutants. So these are about the different kinds of air pollution. So the air pollution, we saw that the air pollution was basically the vehicular pollution. The next one was the industrial pollution. Next was burning of the garbage, and lastly was the brick kilns. So these were the four kinds of the sources of air pollution. Now we move on to the next kind of pollution, that is the water pollution. Water pollution means any change in the water quality which makes it unsuitable for use by humans and by other living organisms. So whenever the water, the constituents of the water or the water contains certain kind of impurities in it which is making it harmful to be utilized by the living beings, then living organisms, then we call such a kind of water to be polluted water, or we can say the water pollution taking place. So water pollution means any change in the water quality, the quality of the water is changed, which makes it unsuitable for use by humans and by other living organisms. Sources of water pollution, again there are 5 sources of water pollution. The first one is household detergents. See, we use detergents on a daily basis for washing clothes, washing utensils. All these are going to go into the water body, because this particular water what we are using is going to be drained out. So that drain, if it is connected to a water body, we are in turn polluting the water body. So every home uses some detergent cleansing agent to wash and clean the soiled or worn garments, crockery, utensils, etc. The dirty water flows down the drains. Okay. Then comes the sewage. Sewage is a liquid waste from domestic activities. It consists of kitchen waste, toilet and other household waste matter. Most cities have sewage treatment plants to remove the dirty part and release the clean fluid part into nearby water body or rivers. Small towns and villages may still be releasing their fluid waste directly into some nearby large water body like a river or a lake. See, in normal cases, in urban places, you will find that there will be a sewage treatment plant. The sewage treatment plant of that particular city or the town will be such that the complete sewage, that the complete waste water from the kitchens and the toilets and all is going to go into the sewage treatment plant, where they are going to be segregating, or not segregating themselves, but it will be like filtering process, or the treatment is going to take place such that the solid content is being separated out and the liquid content is made harmless, and after maintaining them harmless, it is being drained into the water body, which is the river or a sea or a lake or somewhere. But in case of small towns, or not small towns but villages basically, you will find that the sewage is directly connected to the water body which is nearby, the nearby river, nearby lake. So directly that particular, without any treatment, it is being thrown into the water body, which is a very big polluting form. At some places in India, people are still following the practice of disposing of dead bodies into the rivers If not the dead bodies, the ashes after cremation are very commonly immersed in the rivers like Ganga. Such practices are sources of water pollution. Yes, of course, the practice of the ashes to be given into the Ganga or some other rivers. So that is also a way of polluting this particular water bodies. The next is industrial waste. A large number of industries, small scale as well as a large scale, produce wastewater which contains various types of chemical pollutants. Such wastes are commonly discharged into the rivers. Fish processing industries set up their near sea coast release toxic waste into the sea, causing pollution. So you will always find that the industries also use a huge amount of water. Industries use a lot amount of water. Like in case of a garment industry, they will be for dyeing of a clothes, they will use amount of the tanks filled of water, and there will be chemicals and dyes put inside so that the cloth can be put inside and the color of the cloth can be given to it. And then when they want to change the color, the whole tank is being emptied into just some water body nearby. So this way, industries do a lots and lots of wastage of water, and there is a huge amount of chemicals which are being polluting the water body near these industries. Even the fish industries. So fishing industry, which is situated near the rivers or the lakes or the sea, they will also be polluting the nearby water body. The next kind of a water pollution is oil spills. See, oil is always extracted from the soil inside the sea. So when they are trying to extract it, they are going to drill the hole inside the earth's surface, inside the sea, and then it is going to take out the oil. So while doing so, there will be a lot of oil which is going to be given out during the drilling process and all. So that is nothing but oil spills. So oil spills are, and there could be also accidental discharges from the carriers of that oil tanker. So oil spills are accidental discharges of petroleum in oceans or estuaries. The source of spills are the overturned oil tankers, offshore oil mining. So as I told you, offshore oil mining is the mining of the oil from the offshore, that is in the inner coast of the coastal area, and the oil wagon, there are big ships which carry the oil from one country to another country. If in some accidental thing it happens that the oil tanker is damaged due to some hitting a particular kind of a iceberg or maybe anything, then there will be oil spill taking place. So spill of the source of spill are the overturned oil tankers, offshore oil mining, oil refineries. Oil pollution kills a lot of marine life like the fish, birds, etc. The example shows a duck coated with oil over here. Now it's very common, it's very easy to understand this thing, because what is happening is, if there is oil on top of the sea surface, then oil is not allowing the oxygen to come in contact with water. So the water is going to get slowly and slowly less amount of oxygen will be available over there. So that's the reason the fishes need to come up for their respiring, and when they come up, they are getting coated with the oil which is flowing over there. So this way they are getting, they die. In fact, they are not able to survive such kind of areas, and hence the oil spill causes a lot of marine life damage. The last kind of water pollution is the thermal pollution. That is the pollution which is given out by the thermal power plant. Now, many industries or thermal power plant, oil refineries, and even nuclear power plants use water for cooling their machinery. This hot water, wastewater, may be 8 to 10 degrees warmer than the intake water and is released into the nearby streams, rivers, or sea, and causing warming. This warming of the water harmfully affects the animals, even the fishes, and harms the plant life growing in it. It is seen that the thermal power plant or any particular power plant or any particular industry which is using the water for cooling purpose will be taking in water from the sea and or the river or the lake, and then it is going to use that water for the cooling purpose in the industry. And when it is doing the process, it is going to get heated up, and then that heated up water which is at least 8 to 10 degrees temperature wise higher than the normal water of the sea, it is thrown into the same water body. Now when it is thrown into the same water body, because of the high temperature of that particular thing, it is going to see, we are very well known that the effect of temperature on the solubility of the gases in liquid. So if the temperature increases, the solubility of oxygen in the water is going to decrease. Accordingly, what will happen? The oxygen content in the water decreases. Hence, the marine life is affected due to the deficiency of oxygen present in the, or the gases present in the water. So that's why the thermal power plants or the thermal or any particular industry which is using water as a coolant in their industry and then draining that particular water into the river, into the water body at around 8 to 10 degrees more than the normal temperature will always cause a water pollution in that area. So this was about the water pollution. So we saw the water pollution is being the major sources are the household detergents, industrial waste, sewage, oil spills, and finally the thermal pollution. So this was about the water pollution. We now continue with the next kind of pollution, which is the soil pollution. So we continue the oil pollution ke baad mein we see water pollution, and next in the next video we'll be taking up the next one, which is soil pollution.